Brought to you by Penguin.
The Rodchenkov Affair by Dr. Grigory Rodchenkov. Read by Andrew Byron. Note to the reader. By my definition, a whistleblower is a man who dwells in an ambiguous netherworld, where a perverse pride in his past unethical achievements coexists with a desire to expose the corrupt system that successfully nurtured him for so long. What follows is not an attempt to make excuses for my actions, nor to justify them. It strives to be one thing above all: honest. I will not shy away from giving a full and candid account of what I did, and nor do I ask you to forgive me. For as George Orwell wrote, there was truth and there was untruth, and if you clung to the truth even against the whole world, you were not mad. Let's begin. Introduction. I am in involuntary exile from my homeland, Russia. I live in protective custody in the proverbial undisclosed location, and whenever I leave my small apartment, I am accompanied by one, or sometimes two, armed guards. On occasion, I wear a bulletproof vest. For much of my youth, I was a competitive runner. Now, when I want to jog or even go for a walk, I have to wait for someone to take me out, just as my dog used to when I lived in Moscow. I fled Russia in November 2015, fearing for my life. As an academic chemist trained in instrumental analysis, analytical chemistry, and chemical kinetics, I helped run the most successful sport doping enterprise in world history. As director of Russia's ironically named Moscow Anti-Doping Center, my job was to make sure that the hundreds of Russian athletes participating in international events were never caught with banned substances, such as anabolic steroids or synthetic testosterone in their body fluids during training camps and competitions. When we were at the height of our powers, there seemed to be nothing we could not do. Dirty urine samples, soaked with performance-enhancing drugs, emerged clean from my laboratory. For over 10 years, and 5 Olympics, not one athlete under my guidance tested positive for doping substances during the competitions. George Orwell wrote about doublethink, which he said was to know and not to know, to be conscious of complete truthfulness while telling carefully constructed lies. I embody this Orwellian doublethink. I was dedicated to Soviet and Russian sport, yet I am denounced as a traitor in my own country. I am one of the reasons my country won so many Olympic medals, from 2004 to 2014. Yet, I was also the cause of their banishment from the Olympic movement. I consider myself to be honest, yet I knowingly defrauded the world's anti-doping authorities for more than a decade, both for the greater glory of Russian athletes and also to satisfy sports bureaucrats who were bent on perpetuating Russia's sporting success. I justified my actions to myself by explaining that there had never been any real doping control in the Soviet Union or in Russia, so I was simply continuing along a well-trodden path. At the same time, I had contempt for the international anti-doping authorities, who spouted high-minded rhetoric about clean sport but, Orwell again, failed repeatedly to see what was in front of their nose. To my mind, they were never serious about cracking down on sport doping. Fans paid lots of money to watch elite athletes, both live and on TV, and sport didn't look broken. Why should they, or I, bother to fix it? I am a devoted husband and father, but I haven't seen my wife and children in 4 years. My name appears in international newspapers, but I am a ghost. You have heard about the fox and the hen house?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?